Hey everyone, so welcome to the Healthy Entrepreneur Masterclass with myself, Hannah Charlotte. So if you have never joined me before for any of my masterclasses in the past, or if you are really new to my world, then I'm just going to give you a little short introduction on who I am, what I do, and what my background is. So my name's Hannah Charlotte. I am a multiple business owner. I'm a mum of three. I am based in the UK and I mentor clients. My clients are mostly creative entrepreneurs that have mostly come from a background of health, fitness, wellness sector, but not limited to that. Now, I started my business journey back in 2013 when I actually rewind back. It was actually before that when it was 2013 that I established my brand GlobeFit, which is now 11 years old. It celebrated its 10th birthday last September. But rewind back, I actually became an entrepreneur through, it was a bit of a fluke actually. It was never in my plans, the same way it was never really in my plans to become a mentor. But back in 2009, I was actually working as cabin crew at the time. And you may remember the global recession hit around 2010. Now, I lost my job in the airline industry at the time. I was also a single mum. And so at the time, basically had to find a way to bring an income in to support myself and my young daughter. And back then I decided to enroll on a nail course actually at the time. So acrylic nail extensions, gel nails were just starting to come in at the time, pedicures, manicures, and so on. And so I qualified in nails and I set up a little salon, first of all, in my lounge in the front room of my apartment where I was living at the time with my daughter. And from there, I actually built a beauty business, which grew over the 4 years that I did it. And I actually then set up my own salon. And from there, I then pivoted into the fitness industry. And that's when I established my brand GlobeFit, which now offers a whole range of offerings, including childcare, children's fitness classes, adults fitness classes. Hula hooping is a major one. That's how the brand actually started. That's a long story, so I won't go into that now, but you can look it up on my website if you want to find out more about my story and how I actually got into hula hooping and into the fitness industry. And from there, from building my brand GlobeFit, I naturally fell into mentoring others who were looking to build a brand. Now, I scaled my brand over, it's been over 11 years now, from it started off as just one community class, a hula hoop class in my local village hall. And I built that to become a global brand now, which we offer training, global training for fitness instructors, PTs, those that are wishing to become hula hoop instructors, dance instructors, personal trainers, and so on. And yeah, I scaled that brand. As I say, it started off as one community class in my local church hall, in village hall, and now it is a six-figure brand. And yeah, that's that in a nutshell. So people naturally start to come to me to ask me how I'd done it, like wanted to know, like, the ins and outs and the hoops that I had to jump through to take it from that one community class to a global six-figure brand. So that's my mentor, how I became a mentor in a nutshell. Now, today I am going to be talking a little bit about health. And this is a really, I've been studying positive psychology. I've just embarked on a course with a wonderful lady called Nick Pigeon, who is a coach, positive psychology coach, and she has an accredited training. So a lot of this information that I'm going to be bringing into this masterclass, I need to say that credit to Nick, because this is her body of work that I'm going to be using as a framework for this masterclass. And why our health is important. It's important, our health is our wealth, but especially those of you who are entrepreneurs, okay? Because we as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we are our brand. Without us, our brand, our business, more so even if you don't have a team and you are a personal brand, like your business can't function without you. Okay, you are the core, you are the foundation of your brand. And that is why health, for me, whenever anyone asks me what's the key, like number one thing that you would like put down to success, and however you define success to be, I would always say health. Okay, not just physical health, mental, spiritual health as well. And it's so true, our health really is our wealth. Without our health, we really don't have anything. So from our foundation of our health, we can then build all the building blocks that stem around that, okay, that we need to do in order to have a successful business. So I'm going to be sharing some slides with you and talking through 4 pillars, okay, of that encompass health. The 4 pillars that I'll be talking about will be food and nutrition, sleep, exercise and movement, and restoration/stress. Okay. Don't worry if you don't remember those. I'm going to be going through them one at a time and breaking them down. So you might want to have a notepad, take some notes here. Obviously, this will be recorded so you can watch back anything, pause it later on when the replay is available, in case you've missed any important information. But this health pillar comes from the perma wheel of positive psychology. Okay, I'm not going to go massively into the other pillars included in positive psychology. You can look those up if you wish to, but this health pillar, as I said, for me, is one of the most important pillars as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, to get right. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing my screen with you, and we're going to start talking through health, and we're going to start as well with the first pillar of health, which is food and nutrition. And what I want to just reiterate and tell you now is that I am not a qualified health coach. I am a qualified personal trainer, fitness instructor. Okay, I am qualified to talk a lot about exercise and movement. I am not a qualified nutritionist. I am just now using information from the positive psychology framework, okay, from the PERMA framework right now. So just to let you know, if you do have any questions regarding nutrition, I can tell you what I know. I can, through my own experience and my own knowledge, but I am not qualified to be able to give out advice regarding nutrition, just to make that clear, okay? So I am going to start sharing my screen with you in a minute, and let me just find it. Okay. Okay, so got me in the little box here. You can still see me, still hear me. So we're just going to start talking through this, okay? And as I say, please do feel free to take any notes that you would like to take while I am talking. So health is important for your overall well-being, as we've just discussed. It's the foundation of everything. And health, it includes getting enough sleep, feeding your body with nutritious foods, exercising, and having restorative breaks. When we are at our peak health, it is a lot easier to be happy, okay, in all areas of our lives, and to make the effort in the other areas of our well-being as well. Yeah, it's like when you feel good, like when you feel healthy, you know that difference, like when you've been unwell and your energy is low, but when you feel really, like your peak health, your energy is generally high, and that's when you attract more of the good stuff to you into your life. Okay, so there is so much research supporting how health is a key component to our overall well-being, and that is why it was added to the PERMA wellbeing framework, and now it has the H on the end for health. Okay, so again, the PERMA wellbeing framework, I haven't delved into each of the pillars of that because this module, this this masterclass is talking just about health, but you are welcome to go do some research if you want to on the whole wellbeing framework of positive psychology. Okay, now I've just reiterated I am not a health expert. I am a qualified fitness instructor, so personal trainer, so you can obviously ask me anything regarding exercise, okay? So my role here, okay, is to help you guys identify your health goals and make empowered health choices, okay? So, as I've just explained, in this masterclass, we're going to be talking about 4 elements: nutrition, moving, sleep, and restoration. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about the holistic approach to nutrition. So again, if you want to take some notes on this, please feel free to do so. Food is the foundation of life and good health, the building blocks and that we are essentially made of. When food is broken down, digested, and the nutrients obtained from our food are then assimilated and transported throughout our body, it gives us what we need to live, repair, and function. So let's start talking, first of all, a little bit about whole foods. In an ideal world, all we would need is healthy food to maintain or retain good health. Unfortunately, this is not always the case, and good health is now ever increasingly hard to obtain from just eating well. There are many factors to consider, and sometimes eating well just isn't enough. However, if you can start with the basics and eat good, real, wholesome whole foods, you are at least on the right track to building a solid foundation from which to build from. So, what can we do? We can eat a wide variety of whole foods, and these are foods that are predominantly in their natural state. So with no additives, no preservatives, and so on, you know, so you're looking here like organic, which, you know, these days is easy enough to find. There are whole food shops. I know I'm in the UK, we've got Holland Barrett is one that's just sprung to my mind. You know, but you can kind of do your research and find what's in your area, what's online, but everything now these days is quite accessible, okay? So include a wide variety of seasonal fresh fruit in your daily diet. Include a wide variety of seasonal vegetables in your daily diet. Include a source of protein with every meal. If you eat meat, don't eat too much. I think they say experts are now advising, like red meat in particular, not to have any more than 2 to 3 times a week. So be mindful of your portion sizes and aim to include at least 1 meat-free day every week. It's good for your health, the planet, and you'll save money too. Actually, I'm just going to use a little example here of I actually go to I teach guest present classes, fitness classes at a well-known health spa 3 or 4 times a year. And actually what I love at this health spa is they give you a plate, and on the plate they've actually portioned off what portion of the plate should be fruit or vegetables and what portion of the plate should be carbs and proteins. And they say with this plate, it's great because you kind of have this portion, and actually it's only a third of your plate should be carbs, a third protein, and then the other third should be vegetables. Okay, so I quite like that. So we're going to just move on to mindful eating now, mindfulness. So be mindful of how you eat and when you eat. A lot of the times we eat because we're stressed, and we eat mindlessly instead of mindfully, okay? And sometimes we're just thirsty, we're dehydrated, but we think we're hungry. So what I would always say, if it's like between meal times and you feel hungry, you feel like going for the crisps or whatever, it could be that you just need a glass of water. So have a glass of water first and then see how you feel after your glass of water. So perhaps you aren't actually hungry at all. Sit down and turn the TV off, put your phone away, and chew your food slowly. Take time to sit down and be grateful for your meal and the nourishment that it provides your body. Also, be conscious of your food choices. Where is it sourced? Is it local, organic, seasonal? Thinking about where your food comes from and your choices are steps to being more mindful and a step towards good health and wellness. And, this is something actually to be aware of. It's like when I eat now, I eat quite slowly. I chew my food and I really am very aware of what I'm putting into my body. It's too easy to kind of just wolf down the food and not really think about what you're putting into your body. But if you actually take time, as I say, to kind of sit without any distractions around you while you're eating, you get the chance to be more mindful, not just about the speed at which you're eating your food, but actually about what you are actually putting into your body and actually the flavors of the food, the enjoyment of the food as well, okay? Because eating should be enjoyable. So, celebration, enjoyment, and the 20-20 rule now we're going to talk about. So, eat foods, and this is what I've just said, eat foods that you enjoy. Learn to prepare different foods and learn to eat well, okay? Make it fun. A good rule of thumb is to eat mindfully 80% of the time, and for 20% of the time, it's okay to indulge, eat out, or enjoy foods at a celebration, as long as your health doesn't suffer from it. It is about balance. At the end of the day, life is for enjoying, okay? And it's not about depriving ourselves 100% of the time. That 80-20 rule is a good one to follow because, yeah, if you can eat well 80% of the time, 20% of the time, you're eating out, you're indulging in a takeaway or a glass of wine, whatever it might be. This is life at the end of the day, and it's there to be enjoyed in its entirety, right? So, for the most part, eat mindfully anywhere between 75 to 90% of the time, depending on how you feel, the situation, and any health issues that you are experiencing. At the end of the day, it's about balance and enjoying food and celebrations and being easy on yourself. Life is to be enjoyed, food included. Don't just allow your cravings or addictions to take over, though. Listen to your body and know when you need support. Okay. So, yeah, it's just something to be mindful of. Again, that 80-20 rule. What I actually find is I keep a food diary and I can then keep track of what I've been eating, my patterns, if I've had a particularly bad week where it's like maybe like the 80-20 rules being like more like a 50-50 rule. It's like, okay, I need to, fair enough, not beat myself up over that. I had a good time, but now I'm moving on to the next week and I'm going to make sure that I am intentional about applying that 80-20 rule because my health is really important to me. And if I keep on with weeks like the 50-50 or whatever, that's not going to lead me down the right path. That's not going to make me thrive as an entrepreneur as well. Yeah, my health's going to suffer and take a hit eventually. So let's talk about hydration now. Hydration is essential. Drink plenty of filtered alkaline mineral water if you can, approximately 2 litres depending on size and physical activity. It is recommended to use a water filter system and highly recommend the investment in your health. So obviously, bottled water can be pricey. I do now, for me and my family, we do actually have bottled water. I just prefer the taste of it. Not the water tastes so much, but you can tell the difference between that and the tap water. And it's definitely made a difference with my skin. But that's what I can say. But I do understand that, financially, it's not doable for everybody to be able to just buy bottled water all the time. Okay. Excuse me. But what you can do is you can add some sliced lemon, oranges, mint, basil, and other fruits and herbs, which will add flavour and nutrients to your water, especially if you don't like the taste of water, if you can't just drink plain water. But, you can add that to the tap water as well, especially the lemon. It will kind of add a little bit as like remove any of the toxins that are in the tap water. Excuse me. Talking of water, I think I need some water now. Okay, so we're going to just move on now. Variety. I like this one. Have you heard the saying, the variety is the spice of life? Well, this definitely rings true in regards to food. So food should be enjoyable and fun, okay? And that's the thing, it's making food fun, making it work for you, yeah? So it's like trying different foods, trying, like things that you might never have tried before, different spices, different herbs, different recipes, and make it fun, with your kids, your partner, whoever you live with, or, you could invite some friends around and like make a night of like cooking up some fun, healthy recipes. So change your mindset that being healthy is boring. Learn new recipes, try adding new food into your diets, experiment in the kitchen, visit new healthy cafes, or even organise a monthly catch up with friends where you can share food and experiment. A variety of wholesome food will not only taste delicious, but it will also increase your nutritional profile intake too. Okay, let's talk of economical now. So one of the big misconceptions is that you can't afford to eat healthily or that you have to buy expensive superfoods to become healthy. Okay, so eating healthy doesn't mean you have to spend more. However, and actually, you can save money if you think about it, like cooking at home. You can save a lot more money than eating out all the time on takeaways and so on. And I bet if you keep a food diary, what you could also do is keep a price tracker with that food diary as well. And then you can work out and actually see where you potentially are saving money. Excuse me, I'm going to have to drink some water. I've actually this is doing the health module, but I have just got over about a flu. But what I would say is my healthy diet has helped me get over that a lot quicker than I would have done in the past. It's literally like 5 days and it's just lingering with this cough now. Anyway, talking about pricing and economical, okay? So it will take your time and commitment to make changes gradually. One small change a week per shop month will have an invaluable benefit on your health in the long run, okay? So it's just maybe taking note of what you are spending. If finances are an issue for you, like maybe think about what you could be swapping out, like, buying that daily coffee or buying that bottle of wine each week, could be swapping that out to be able to maybe invest in healthier foods. Okay, alcohol. Enjoy alcohol in moderation. So I mean, it depends. Like some people are teetotal, some people don't drink at all. Some people, enjoy a glass of wine. I, for one, I enjoy a glass of wine. It's something I like the taste of it. However, it's all about moderation. So I would recommend a small glass of wine, red, being my wine of choice for taste and health benefits also. Organic and preservative-free wines are also the best option. So it's trying different things as well there. Maybe, and this is something like I enjoy a glass of red, and I know that's probably better for me than say white or rosé, for example, but it's in moderation. And it's just knowing, obviously alcohol is as we know, detrimental to our bodies and to our health if it's out of moderation. So it's just being aware of that. Okay, so let's try not to demonize food. This can create an unnecessary obsession, and this is where people can take it too far. So if you are keeping a food diary, don't become too obsessed with it. If you do fall off the wagon or whatever, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't make it bad. Don't make it mean anything. Okay. Just be mindful and aware of which foods are better for you, for your health, and for your family's health. It's more often a combination of factors that contribute to disease or poor health that we shouldn't be fixated on one factor alone. So, you've had one bad day. So what? Move on. Okay. Start again the next day or whatever. It's when those series of bad days, outweigh the series of good days. That's when it becomes an issue. But don't fixate on it too much. Just it's starting to build this new habit into your life gradually. Okay. And don't beat yourself up. Like I say, if you have a day where it's not gone well particularly, all right. We're human, so quit the guilt. If you decide you want to eat something more indulgent, enjoy it and be grateful. Don't feel guilty or shameful. Enjoy every single bite and know that it's not going to undo all the good work that you have done so far. It's your health journey, and no one eats perfectly 100% of the time. So, it's like, especially as a woman, our hormones dip every month, don't they? And there's definitely times of the month where all I actually want to do is sit on the sofa with a bar of chocolate. And that's okay. I let myself do that because I know that that's what my body wants. That's what I want at that moment. That's what's going to make me feel good at that moment. Obviously, if I was to sit there every day with a bar of chocolate on the sofa, that's going to be an issue. But like that one day a month is absolutely fine. In fact, it's a good thing, right? Okay, so we're going to move on to movement, which is our next pillar of the health framework in our perma wheel. Okay, so movement is vitally important for your health and positive psychology because it helps to increase positive effect and positive emotions, reduce stress, decrease anxiety, boost self-esteem, improve sleep, and enhance cognitive functioning. And there's a nice quote here actually by Tal Ben-Shahar, which he says, not exercising is the equivalent to taking depressants, right? What does he mean by this? So when we exercise, we release chemicals known as endorphins, and these are our natural feel-good chemicals that we possess in the body. And actually, there's been a lot of research done that says that movement is medicine in many ways, and that actually the endorphins that we can release through exercise are the equivalent, they can actually be the equivalent to what an antidepressant could do for you, okay? That's not to say if you're on antidepressants that you should switch it, but it's just to say that actually exercise it's a phenomenal way to boost your mood and improve your overall well-being. Okay, movement really is medicine. And I'm saying that as someone who's been a fitness instructor for the past decade now. And actually, I went through a bout of depression prior to becoming a fitness instructor, and it changed my life. And I don't say that lightly, it changed my life. So actually, before we move on to sleep, I want to talk a little bit more about exercise, because what exercise should not feel like a chore for you. So the key really is to find something that you enjoy doing that doesn't feel like exercise as such. It doesn't feel like a chore. So for example, I don't enjoy running. If you told me my daily exercise had to be to get on a treadmill for an hour, I don't know. You're not going to get me on that treadmill most days, okay? It's going to be like a real drag to get me on that treadmill. Yes, I'd feel better after I'd done that hour, but getting me there is half the battle. So it's finding something that works for you. Now, some people don't like the gym. Some people love the gym and it's easy to get yourself to the gym. Some people don't want to do that. Some people, they don't like running, they don't like the gym. But luckily, there's such a variety of exercises out there that you can try. So it's all about finding something that's going to work for you. And my best advice to you would be try lots of things, see what fits. Now, for me, I found my passion for hula hooping, like that is my number one go-to. Whenever I feel down or I feel like I need a boost, I feel like I need to get some of those endorphins flowing, I get my hoop out and I start hula hooping. I absolutely love hula hooping. Dancing it's more than exercise for me. It is my therapy. And that's what exercise is for a lot of people, actually. A lot of runners, athletes, they say that it's their therapy. So if you want to find out more about hula hooping, you can obviously contact me. My company is GlobeFit. If you want to look up online, it's globefit.co.uk. I have some very relatively low cost online hula hoop programs if you would like to join one of them for beginners. And I also sell hula hoops online as well. And I'm just going to talk a bit more about hula hooping because that is my area of expertise. Hula hooping is, it's not something that you think of like as an exercise, like, or a lot of people think of it as a kid's toy, and yes, it is. It's great for actually connecting with your inner child and actually taking yourself back to that childhood play that and that flow state that we used to have as children. It's great for that, but it's also got some really good physical benefits as well. And when you hula hoop on your waist, you are burning an average of 100 calories per 10 minutes. And not only that, you are toning obviously your core area, but you are also, it's an overall exercise to tone the overall body. It's not just the core. If you actually take my online program, you will find out that there's lots of other things you can do with the hoop as well. We can do it on the arms, on the legs. We can do a lot of exercise like squatting at the same time, walking with the hoop, trying lots of different fun things. Okay. It's just such a fun thing to do. And as I say, you burn an average of 100 calories per 10 minutes whilst hooping, and it's great for toning. It's great for obviously increasing the heart rate, great for flexibility and coordination. And coordination is an element of fitness that we often forget, but practicing our coordination skills is so important, because as we get older, we lose that coordination. And if we can keep that coordination element of our fitness strong, then as we get older, there's lots of research done showing that actually if we've got strong coordination still, then it's going to decrease the likeliness of having strokes, for example, and dementia, getting dementia, Alzheimer's and so on. There's lots of research in that area. If you do want any links, I can always send you some links to a lot of the research that's quite extensive that's been done that says, keeping and strengthening your coordination in adulthood will, take it in, really, really help combat into old age. So you've still got those coordination skills as you grow older. Excuse me. So the key really, what I'm trying to say here is to find something that you love, find something you enjoy. Yoga is great if if you're at home and you can't get out, it's not that easy to get out. Yoga, all you need is a little bit of space to practice some of your yoga moves. There's so many free options online now on YouTube as well, where you can find pretty much any kind of exercise, any yoga class. Everything's accessible, which is great, because it means that there really aren't many excuses to not be able to find something and do something that you enjoy. Walking, getting outside in the fresh air, walking is just, you are, by being able to just get outside in nature, what you're doing is you're kind of bringing a lot of those elements into like you're kind of what's the word I'm looking for? You're kind of able to not multitasking. Well, yeah, and you're able to multitask. You might be able to do like lots of things at once. So you're getting your walk in, getting your connection with nature. If you go with a friend, and you're getting your social side in as well, or listening to a podcast, listening to music, an audiobook, whatever it might be. It's walking's phenomenal. So even if you can get a daily walk in, if you're working from home, for example, and getting out for 15 minutes, half an hour on your lunch break for a walk, or in your office, if you can get out and get some steps in, do some the stairs or whatever it is instead of the lift. So many ways that you can embed movement and exercise into your daily life. Okay. So I was just touching on the movement and exercise there, but if you do want to know more, please do reach out, because this is my area of expertise. Okay, so moving on, we're going to talk about sleep now, and why sleep is so important for our well-being. So there is nothing more important for our health, happiness, and productivity than getting enough high-quality sleep. And this is a quote by Arianna Huffington. Okay, and this is so true. Sleep is one of the foundational processes within your body that promotes good health. Studies have shown that 90% of people do not get enough sleep. So if you are one of the lucky 10%, well done. Getting enough sleep is essential for your productivity and your happiness. When you are tired, it is extremely hard to maintain focus. You are more reactive, It's harder to remember things. And basically, it's incredibly hard to thrive mentally, emotionally, and physically without enough sleep. And don't we know it? um, as a mum of three, you know, I'm lucky now. Like, my youngest is 8. I do get a full night's sleep now, mostly 7.5, 8 hours most nights. I'm very lucky. But, you know, with young children, it's very hard to get a full 7.5, 8 hours sleep. and that's the time in our lives where we kind of do end up functioning a little bit. It is just a phase. Luckily, kids grow out of it. But I notice now, like, the energy I have, the energy levels I have now compared to when my children were very young and I had very interrupted sleep patterns, is so different. And also, I used to be cabin crew, so I used to work a lot on night flights, and it really did wreak a lot of havoc with my body and my emotions as well. I actually had quite a lot of issues in relationships with people at the time, and now looking back on the reasons why I had some of those issues was actually because I didn't get enough sleep, and I was really just functioning. And so it can have a real knock-on ripple effect on other areas of your life if you are not getting enough sleep. Okay. So that's why it's just so important. And it's another thing, it's like I've started to learn is that as you get more tired throughout the day, what I've actually stopped doing is having intense conversations or quite important conversations late at night when I can feel my body's getting tired. I can feel I'm maybe more emotional because I'm getting tired. My mind and my body are tired. So I always find after I've rested and after I've slept, I'm thriving more and I'm more in my thriving mind rather than my reactive mind. Okay. So, excuse me again. Sleep survey. There's a survey that is a really, so if you want to take notes here and take down the link to this website and this quiz, it's a free quiz, and I highly recommend that you take this quiz, because what this quiz is called the Power of When, and it's a really good survey to help you identify what sleep chronotype you are. So it's going to help you identify your sleep patterns and how it's impacting your day, and when you are best to do certain activities based on your chronotype. Okay. And as I've just discussed, I did the survey and so many revelations came from it. Like I said, from this, realized that the best time of day for me to have conversations that were quite, could be quite intense would be the beginning of the day when I've had my sleep, not towards the end of the day. So this is really good to kind of work out where gaps might be, or where there could be slightly unhealthier patterns for you with your sleep, and what you can kind of do to change that, to start creating shifts. Okay, so really the key for sleep is to get enough of it. Now, I understand everybody has different situations, different circumstances in their life, which means they may not be able to get enough sleep in one go. Like a full 7.5, 8 hours might not be possible, especially if you do have young children. But the key is to find times. If you can nap during the day, for example, easier said than done, but it's vital that you get that extra sleep, that you top up on that sleep. Okay, because it's, again, like, without sleep, everything else just falls apart. It really does. Okay. So out of the 4 pillars that I'm talking about with health, sleep really should be your priority. So it's just trying to work out how you can ensure that you're getting a good night's sleep. And there's a few things that I've done which have helped me now sleep through the night and not wake, or not kind of feel anxious. Sometimes I used to wake quite a lot feeling anxious and thinking about things. So what I will now do is I will not have any screen time an hour before I go to bed, because there's a lot of research done as well on this, is that, if you're watching TV or you're on your smartphones, then the light from the screens can actually affect our brainwaves and affect how we sleep. Okay, it can really kind of wreak a bit of havoc with our sleep patterns. So now I will not have screen time an hour before I go to sleep. I will often have a nice bath before I go to bed because it really helps my muscles relax and helps me get into that sleep state, maybe with some bath salts and some lavender oil. All of these things really help and aid for a restful night's sleep. And then what I'll often do is I will listen to a meditation, or I will also listen to high frequency sounds, binaural beats, which will really help my brain waves get into that sleep state. And I can't tell you how much that has helped me now. Like, I can just drift off. So it's setting yourself up for a good night's sleep. If you know that sleep's going to be difficult for you, it's implementing certain things in your bedtime routine that are going to help you have a great night's sleep. Okay. So we're going to move on now, and we're going to talk about the last pillar in our health framework, okay, so which is restoration. Restore. So how often do you stop to relax, take a break, and do something restorative for your mind and body? Now, stress impacts our health massively. As we know, it really does. Stress is one of those things that can, again, completely wreak havoc, can stop us sleeping, for one, okay? So what is stress? Stress is an incredible tool and adaptation that keeps us alive and protects us from danger. Our bodies are trained to keep us safe. And in the caveman days, it was the process of running away from a tiger or fighting to save your tribe. So why do we view stress as so bad in our society these days? Well, it is more the fact that chronic stress can have a big impact on our bodies. We live in a time where everything feels urgent and we rush everywhere. We are stressed at work, stressed getting to work, mortgage stress, like financials, relationship stress, colleague at work that won't let you concentrate, the bills coming in. These are just all external stressors, and they have massive impact on our lives and how we feel. So we also have internal stressors of injury, chronic illness, inflammation, bacterial overgrowth, heavy metals, toxic overload, etc. All of these factors are contributing to an accumulation of chronic stress, and this is where the problems occur. So we all know at a surface level that stress is no good for us, but why don't we actively take measures to reduce it? If we really understand the impact that stress has on our bodies, then we would start to make changes in our everyday lives. So let's explore the ways in which stress impacts our body and then look at ways we can reduce stress and optimize our health and vitality. So first of all, how does stress impact our bodies physically? So it's a very physical emotion. And we all know that when we're quite stressed, we're more likely to get sick and we don't sleep as well. Okay. And it's that anxious feeling, those butterflies in the stomach feeling of, yeah, it's that anxious feeling, anxious stress, high cortisol. Yeah. So these are all the effects of the emotions of stress. And this is where it has an impact on our physical bodies, on our gut health. As you already know, the health of our gut is extremely important in our overall health. If you can't break down the food or absorb nutrients, then how will you create the building blocks for vitality? When we are in our stress state, when adrenaline and cortisol are raised, the body's main response is to move the energy, blood, and movement away from the gut and more towards the area in the body that are important for survival. So stress equals poor gut health, poor mobility, and poor absorption. This will manifest as deficiencies, so it could be poor bowel movements, for example, IBS, brain fog, fatigue, plenty of others as well there. We can't have vitality if these things are not happening. So it's being aware of how stress is taking a toll on our gut health. And like they say our gut is our second brain. Yeah, because in our gut is actually, again, a lot of research has been done here that a lot of illnesses and diseases start in the gut. So it's being really aware of how that stress is impacting your gut. And you know, when you can feel that anxious feeling, a lot of us feel it in our body. And it manifests, you know, into a physical feeling. It's like it starts with that thought, that stress thought. And then you start to feel it as the cortisol levels and the adrenaline kicks in. You feel it in your physical gut. You actually feel it, okay? So it's being aware, first of all, and then it's starting to do the things that we can do to reduce that stress. So let's talk about the immune system. Did you know that 80% of the immune system is housed in the gut wall lining? If our gut is not functioning well, then our immune system is impacted. When we are stressed, we are more likely to get sick. Chronic long-term stress can lead to a significant imbalance in the body, which can lead to disease, which is what I've just mentioned. So mental health and cognition. Did you know that 90% of the happy hormone called serotonin is housed in the gut? If your gut is not functioning well due to stress, then your happy hormones are not working. So no happy hormones equals feelings of sadness, depression, anxiety, and low mood. Stress also moves the energy and blood away from the areas of the brain that are not needed for the fight or flight, okay? It's that survival mode. This means that our higher cognitive functioning is not optimal. So maybe have a word with your boss to say that added workload and stress may make you less productive. So for entrepreneurs, for ourselves, we are our boss. So we need to have a word with ourselves. If we're starting to get overwhelmed and stressed, it's like, what can we do to limit our stress now and to decrease those stress levels? Yeah, because we are in control as entrepreneurs, business owners. We are able, we've got the beauty of working for ourselves is that we actually can do something about it. Yeah. Okay. So hormones. When the body is in fight or flight, all the functions in the body that are not essential for survival are down-regulated. This includes our hormone system. The last thing the body feels like doing is creating a baby. Okay. So this can look like unbalanced hormones, PMS, period pains, missed cycles, longer cycles, bloating, infertility, clotting period blood. So this is a big one as well. And actually, this is something I personally have experienced in the past when I have been in moments of high stress. So the mother hormone, which is I have to say this one, a pregnenolone that creates two of our sex hormones called progesterone and testosterone, also creates cortisol, which is that main stress hormone. So which hormone do you think will be sacrificed? Cortisol wins hands down. So the second half of our cycles are impacted, and the low progesterone can be a factor in miscarriage and weight gain. And so this is, I'm no expert here, just to let you know, in the area of hormones, infertility and so on. But I just know myself that I have experienced this. And yes, I absolutely believe it was all down to feeling stressed at the time, okay? So blood sugar and weight loss. The function of the liver in times of stress is to release back 200 calories of glucose into the blood to have enough energy immediately when we need it to run or fight. The problem is that when these stress responses are occurring, we are generally sedentary, driving the car, on the computer, sitting at work, looking at social media. What do you think will happen to the 2,000 calories of glucose? It remains initially in the blood because none of the muscles use it, and then the blood sugar levels can creep up. This can be a major factor in pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetes. The body says you can't keep the sugar in the bloodstream, so it gets deposited into the fat cells, especially around the abdominal area. So you can have the best diet in the world, but if you're stressed, basically, there's an added factor to why you can't lose weight. And this is what happens, doesn't it? You see this over and over again with people. It's like, I've been trying this diet and I've done this and I've done all the right things, but I'm still stressed. There you go, okay? Healing and repair. So our body always chooses survival over any other function. So when we are stressed, our body's ability to heal is reduced. This increases healing times and returns sports, work, etc. So let's talk now about basically some tips on how we can reduce the stress levels, because this is so important. So as we discussed in the food element, eating a whole food diet. Okay, when our gut health is less than optimal, we need to flood it with nutrients. So smoothies, soups, easy to digest foods are a must during times of high stress, and they reduce the processed stuff. So I know it's hard, but it's just about making better choices, like switching the milk chocolate for the dark chocolate, for example, having grilled fish instead of battered. So it's just being mindful and switching things, trying different things. You'll surprise yourself, I'm sure. So we must be mindful of the sugar we are eating as well. As we learned above, we have lots of problems with our blood sugar levels. So if we are overloading with sugar-laden foods, this can make things so much worse, okay? So eating mindfully, as we talked about in the food module as well. So take 3 deep breaths before you eat, and you can then kind of start to move out of that red zone. So chewing your food 20 to 30 times. I know it's a bit of a challenge, but constantly wolfing down the food. Our bodies can only digest the food if it's fully, we chewed it properly, basically. Okay, so basically when it becomes liquid. So reducing environmental toxins. So how can we support our liver in reducing the work it needs to do? That's a big part of it. So it's switching things like, like toxic alternatives to help, which will help our environment as well. So, it's looking at alternatives basically in our diet, what we're drinking as well. When we talked about alcohol, like obviously alcohol has a big effect on the liver. What can you can swap it for, like, it's still going to have an effect, it's still alcohol, but you can make better choices by choosing organic red wine, for example, and external toxic things as well. Think about things in your environment, in your home environment. Cleaning products are one as well. Like we don't realize the toxins that are in all these cleaning products. So it's thinking about switching from those toxic cleaning products to the non-toxic cleaning products as another example. Okay. Exercise out of love for your body. Yeah, so we said exercise, movement is medicine. Believe it or not, the thought of I have to do this to lose weight, look better, impress my boyfriend has a big impact on your stress levels. So you're not doing it for anyone else. That's the thing. It's got to be out of the love. And this is what I mean. Like when we're talking about exercise, it's making it fun, choosing something that you love, choosing something that's not a chore that you're feeling forced to do. So exercise out of love, and then you will reap the rewards. Right, breathing techniques. So you can take 3 belly breaths. This is a really good one to do. Just, do this anywhere, to be honest. Anytime that you're feeling stressed is a great, just stop, take 3 belly breaths. So take 3 deep breaths immediately, drops the cortisol levels just like that. Okay, it really does, and it allows you some time to get out of that fight or flight danger zone. So it's just stopping, taking a deep inhale, holding at the top, exhale, and again, one more, and that takes no time, and you can do that anywhere. And you immediately have reduced those stress levels. Okay, you've come out of that danger zone just through your breath. And that's something we will have access to straight away at the drop of a hat. Essential oils. I love essential oils. So diffusing essential oils can help decrease the stress. And this is what I'm saying. I love to have lavender oil in the bath before bed. It really helps me. Lots of essential oils, try and test a few, see what works for you, what you like. Some examples here: frankincense, vetiver, lavender, magnolia, all great to reduce and regulate those cortisol levels in the body. Meditation. Did you know that the most successful people in the world are all meditators? Now, something you want to get in on. So researchers found that meditation can reverse prefrontal cortex thinning in aging, which reduces cognitive decline, improves creativity and self-reflection, reduces inflammation and strengthens immunity, protects against heart disease. It's proven to strengthen pain response and perception of pain. Stress hormones have a shrinking effect on the hippocampus in the brain, interfering with memory and navigation. It helps maintain mental resilience, dilates blood vessels, improves blood flow, lowers the pressure needed to pump the blood to the body, improve the gut microbiome diversity as well. And you can begin with as little as 5 minutes of meditation and build it up, like ideally to 20 minutes a day. But meditation, when you're first getting used to it, can be hard. A lot of people give up because they're like, I've tried it, I can't do it. I've tried to meditate, I've just got all these thoughts and things. You need to stay persistent with it. Okay, that's what the key to meditating is. You just need to stay persistent with it, let the thoughts come, keep with it, and eventually you will find a rhythm and flow with it. So meditation for me has been, it's my savior. It's my go-to all the time. It's like I can't now go a day without meditation. It is part of my daily habit. It's part of my daily routine. It's part of my work routine. It's changed my life in many, many ways. And again, there are lots of things like the Calm app, for example, is a good one to start. There's so many things on YouTube. You can like kind of do guided meditations. I always like guided meditations. They help you if you find that you can't do it alone. A guided meditation is really good. You could be out on a walk, for example, and just listen to a guided meditation while you're walking. Lots and lots of ways that you can try it and implement it into your life. So taking breaks and doing something restorative for yourself. So there are so many opportunities during our day just to have quick restorative breaks. There really are. So anything really, like breathing. We've just done those 3 belly breaths, but you could do that for 5 minutes, pop on some music or not have music, personal choice really. Yeah, going to the sauna, the steam rooms, swimming. If you've got a gym membership, just taking yourself off for half an hour, whatever it might be, if you have that facility, taking yourself out on a walk, for example. Acupuncture mats are good as well. I personally don't. I've tried those before with the I couldn't quite get used to that, but I love getting my yoga mat and just lying and taking 10-15 minutes out. Absolutely love that. Dancing. So for me, as I said, I get my hoop out. That is my go-to thing. It's not just my exercise and movement, it's my restorative activity as well. Napping, yeah, especially if napping's really good, like especially if you're not getting your full 7.5, 8 hours sleep a night. Again, listening to music and moving the body. Yeah, even just getting up, standing up. If you're in an office or you're working from home, you're behind a screen a lot, stand up, just shake everything out. Just imagine shaking off all of that kind of negative, kind of unwanted energy which is not serving you now. Just like push it away, move. Okay, there are so many ways. There's so many ways. It's finding what works for you. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Actually, no, I'm not, because I want to give you an exercise to try. This is something for you to keep a tracker on. Okay, so I just want to share this with you. It is known as the health quadrant exercise, and it's an exercise I want you to have a go at doing. So if you want a link to one of these for yourself, then you feel free to message me, email me. But if you want to take notes on, it's very simple. You could just draw this out now if you've got a notepad with you. Okay, so the 4 major areas of health, as we've just discussed, are movement, nutrition, restoration, and sleep. The health quadrant exercise invites you to get honest about where you're at with each of these areas and what you can do to take action to improve. So it looks like this. Okay, you've got movement, sleep, nutrition, and restoration. So what I want you to do with this exercise is rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best it could possibly be at this current moment on each scale. Okay, and be really honest with yourself when you do this exercise. Yeah, be really, really honest. And then what I want you to do is think about where you want to be. Okay, I guess we all want to be a 10, but it might not be the case. I know I coached my husband the other day and he was like, oh, I'm happy with an 8. Fair enough, it's good, right? Think about where you are and where you want to be. And then the key is to plug that gap and start to create a pathway to move towards where you want to be. So say your movement right now is at an 8, but you want it to be a 10. Okay, how can you move yourself there? What can you do? How can you stay accountable? How can you get intentional about moving yourself up the scale? Okay, so it looks like this. And yeah, I want you just to mark yourselves out of 10 at the moment where you currently are, and then look at where you want to be. All right. You might want to just concentrate on one area, especially if one area is a bit lower than the rest. It could just be, say, your sleep right now. You might not want to concentrate on 4 areas at once. You might just want to concentrate on one. So say you're not getting enough sleep, right? Make it your intention this month to work on the sleep element of this quadrant and see how you can plug the gap. So it's doing the things that we've talked about in this masterclass that can help you move yourself closer. And also it's looking at what obstacles that might be standing in your way currently, and thinking about how you can remove the obstacles, right? And I know sleep, as parents, this is a really tricky one because it's like, well, we can't remove our kids. Can't stop my child waking up at night. No, you can't. Unfortunately, it is a phase of life that we go through as parents, but it's looking at where you can then be kind to yourself and do the things with yourself, like during the daytime. If you were lucky enough to have like a family member or someone to be able to help you, is asking for help so that someone can maybe like, or getting a childcare and getting a nanny in, something that's going to give you some time to go and get some extra sleep. Thinking about areas of maybe when your child's asleep during the day or at nursery or whatever it might be, that you can catch up on that very much needed sleep, okay? Excuse me. But I do get like everyone's circumstances are completely different. So there isn't a one way that works for everybody, okay? It's just knowing a way that works for you and finding that way that works for you and then creating a pathway to that way to have the best possible life. At the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You want to think about how do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? How do you want to feel when you go to bed? You want to feel fulfilled. You want to feel healthy. You want to feel like your life is thriving, vibrant, okay? And you're aligned completely with your purpose, and your health is going to help you to do that massively. So yeah, take a note of this quadrant, and yeah, what I'd like you to do with this exercise is, as I say, choose an area or all 4 areas if you want to, and now use the next 30 days to move yourself closer to the number that you want to be on that scale. Okay, and if you do have any questions, I'm here to ask. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen now as we start to wrap this masterclass up. And yeah, if you want any of these notes, by the way, please feel free to message me, reach out. So, as I say, I'm just a summary now of everything we've talked about is those 4 pillars of our health. So it's our food and nutrition, it's movement, exercise, it's sleep and restoration. And there are so many things and tools and resources out there that are free, you know, okay, maybe not the food stuff when we're talking about the whole foods and organic and things, but there's certainly ways that you can cut back. You don't have to make this expensive. Especially, you know, in the exercise, a lot of these things are free. Meditation is free. Our breath is free. There's a lot more things that are free than what we, you know, might be telling ourselves that it's not right now. It's thinking outside the box. It's getting creative with some of this. It's having fun with it as well. It's making this fun. Being healthy should never be a chore. It should just be a habit. It should just be part of your daily life. Okay. And as I say, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, our health is our wealth. Without our foundational health, it's going to be very hard to build on that. It's going to be very hard to build our businesses on top of that. Our teams, if we have teams, it's going to be very hard to influence our team in a positive way if we don't have that health for ourselves. Okay, so it's just really wanting the best for yourself. So it's imagining that best possible version of you that you can become. You know, as I say, physically, mentally, and spiritually. But with physical health, you know, it's all interlinked. It's all interlinked. Yeah. Things like the meditation and the restoration are going to help you internally, and that's obviously going to then help you externally as well. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this masterclass. I hope it's been quite informative for you. As I say, I am here if you want to reach out. If you've got any questions whatsoever, then I would love to hear from you. But you can catch us on replay. You can rewind back and, you know, take notes if you weren't able to take all the notes throughout this now. You can just go back and rewatch any of it at any time. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye, everybody.